How you doing, YouTube? This is AG Prepper coming at you with another video. Basically, in this video, we're going to talk about part 4, which has to do with silver and the momentum of which it moves each and every bull market. Based off of the chart analysis, and this is going to be historical chart reading, by the way. Based off the chart analysis that I have mapped out, it is showing me that silver has a cycle of 2.5 the speed of each and every bull market that it does. All the way back from 2001 bull market silver, all the way to 2008 to 2011, and even to 2015 to 16, which late 15 to middle 16. And also the bull market, which started on May for silver, which was May 28th, I believe it was. We're also going to be talking about subliminal messages in songs. We're just going to touch a little bit on it. And the next part, we're going to go in full detail of subliminal messages in songs and why the release dates are very important as well. And back to the 7-8. The 7-8, the numbers that the powers that be love, which 7 means completion and 8 meaning new beginnings. You have a lot of subjects basically adding up to 7, 8. But not only that, but even on the calendar for this year, where AV lands on August. What's interesting enough is that, and this could just be a coincidence, but July is on the Julian calendar. July is the 7th month, and August is basically the 8th month. So that could just be a coincidence how that all adds up like that. And that's just to re-reference what I spoke about in the last video with the 7-8, and even with the symbolism with the phoenix. You know, when the phoenix dies, then it gets reborn, and you're reborn anew, almost like a new body. So which means new beginnings. As the old self, which was already completed, passed away, and the new self being reborn. Okay, so what I have here is basically silver maples. And by the way, we're going to touch more on the Phoenix as well in later videos. And that's going to be probably part 5, but part 4 is mostly going to be about silver. So we have a .999 Canadian silver maple. Now these are very, very good coins. They're government issued coins from Canada. Very, very pretty coins. The coins, most of the coins here that I have are silver maples. They're great coins. I'm a very big fan of this coin. It's probably the second most sought after coin in the bullion community, next to silver eagles. And let me show you this again. In the last video, I had this in the last video, which is the 1986 proof silver eagle. Now you couldn't see it as well because of the lighting and stuff. I did it basically at night. So this is more in the day where, you know, I have the sun shining through the window and so forth. So you can see it with a better viewpoint. And then I also have silver pour bars. This one's a little tarnished and dirty, but that's fine. I like dirty silver sometimes. Also, this is very nice. This is from Academy. Let's see if I can pull this up for you. See? 10 troy ounce bar. Very, very chunky bar. Look at that thing. Nice and chunky. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so this is the silver chart here, spanning all the way back to the Hunt brothers. Now, what's interesting about this is that silver has the biggest cup and handle out of any investments in basically, possibly even in investment history. It has no other investment out there that has a bigger cup and handle than silver. It spans all the way back from the 70s, all the way to up to this day, which is well over 40 years. So let me just pull up one thing so I can go ahead and show you the example. Let me just type this in real quick. Hold on. Now, cup and handle, when cup and handle is broken, basically what happens is that I'll show you what it looks like. Let me get this thing to focus. So, a cup and handle, when basically is broken, is basically either doubles or triples the actual size of the cup and handle. So it's a very bullish trend, if you can see it. You see that? It forms a cup and handle, and then the handle gets formed. You see that? and then it breaks. And when it finally bursts, it usually doubles or it triples. Either, I mean, not, well, when I say triple, yeah, triple the actual price of this. So when it comes here to here, that's doubling, and if it goes here, here, and here, that's tripling. So now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna go back. So silver, when this price is broken, silver has the potential, which is basically at $50 or 46, give or take. When this price range is finally broken, silver is going to rise to at least 100 and possibly a little bit more. And I believe, based off of the silver momentum and the rhythm that is showing us with the 2.5 speed each and every bull market, and I'll show you that right now, we can get to $100 by, I would say, early to mid-October if the momentum continues. Now, if the bank steps in and crashes the silver price again to the point where it converts back into a bear market, which, by the way, bear means down, bull means up, then that could hinder a lot of things. But long story short, back during the 70s, just to give you an example, the Hunt brothers brought the silver price all the way up, and this is actually went higher than this. This just gives you a guesstimate here. But if you go to a more detailed chart analysis and you go into this year alone, it will show you that it almost hit $50. But when the bull market started during the Hunt brothers, and the bull market lasted for 8 years during this time, started in 1971 when Nixon took us off the gold standard. And it was at a little bit over $1, and it rose to $50. But $1 back then was the equivalent to about anywhere from $8 to $9 to $10 today. So when this price went all the way to 50, the actual value compared to today was almost $1,000, or I would give a range between $700 to $1,000, and that's the inflation adjustment. Now, back in 2008, we also have an inflation adjustment of our currency almost doubled. The inflation of our currency almost doubled. Beef per pound back in 2008 was cheap. It was only low $2. Today it's almost hitting $4. So we increased by at least 40% and possibly a little bit more, which means that this 50 back here was the equivalent to anywhere from a guesstimate range of, I will say, between $380 to $500 compared to this range here to here. But now we're talking about a range, if we ever get back up or back to the inflation adjustment price of here, we should get it to anywhere from, I would say, a range of $700 to possibly even $1,000, give or take. So let's go ahead and get started. In 2001, let me see if I can lower this down because it's a little bit to get a little bit closer. Okay, so 2001 in October time period. Now this gives you a guesstimate. It doesn't give you the exact day because it is so far out. And what we're doing is we're doing historical chart analysis to get to the momentum of which silver is moving. So in 2001 of October to 2008 of April 3rd, give or take, it was exactly 76 months or 77 months. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give a proper estimated guesstimate. Do like the medium between those numbers. We don't have the exact number, of course, but as long as we get close to it, we're fine. We're going to take this number and we're going to try to see if we can get the time period of how long this bull market took, if that makes sense. So this bull market in 2008 during the housing market crash started in November, late November, and ended in sometime in early May. So which is basically a little bit over 30 months, 30.5-ish. I did the math already before the video, before I started the video, of course, just to make things faster. So if you divide it by 2.5, right, you get 30.6, which is interesting. So now that we have a cycle that's possibly forming, right, we can look at the next bull market to see if it's the same speed. Now, just before I continue on, each bull market, at least for the 2001 and 2008, it did exactly 6 leg ups. And what do I mean by that? So we can go ahead and count, and let me get closer here. Hold on. We can go ahead and count how many leg ups this did. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, and mind you, a leg up occurs when a previous resistance line is broken. So a leg up is basically an upside down or upside down check. Yes, see, upside down check. You see that? A leg down is a proper check, and a proper check being this. So a leg down is this. When you go down, you come back up, you fail from breaking the resistance line, and you crash back down even lower. And then in other cases, if you continue to keep doing a proper check, which is a leg down, see that? More leg downs, you see that? You see the downward trend of the leg downs doing the proper checks? That is a bearish trend because it's not breaking basically resistance lines that are formed at the peak of each and every one. Now I'm just giving you basically a layman's term example of how to chart a chart read. Now there's more I guess advanced chart reading, but of course I'm giving you just the layman terms of things, so just so you can understand it. Now a leg up is when is basically upside down check, and it breaks previous resistance lines, and then it forms support lines. And support lines are basically when when a leg up happens, and it forms a base here, but not breaking the lower end of it here, and forms a base here, and it shoots up even higher. This here now becomes support. Does that make sense? And it does. If it does again, this one becomes support. If it does again, then this one becomes support. Does that make sense? So now that you have an idea of that, we can go ahead and continue on. So this here, from 2001 to 2008, formed 6 leg ups. Then it started a very short bear market, and then the bull market commenced even further. Now the reason why, just to give you a little history, the reason why they call it a bull market when it's going up is because when you read your history on the term bull, the Moses, for example, when in the Bible, when he went up into the mountain from Mount Sinai to receive the 10 Commandments from God, he came back down, and his people were basically worshiping a golden calf, almost like if it was God himself. And basically, what they were doing is that they were worshiping gold because the gold had the biggest value out of all the metals that they had. Because back then, precious metals was money, and it still is money. You didn't have currency. Currency started 1,000 years with the Chinese from modern times, but gold and silver has been around for 5,000 and even 6,000 years. So what they were doing is they were worshiping a golden calf, and the reason for that is because it had the most value. So it's almost like on Wall Street when they have the bull in front of the outside. You can see it. It's basically a brass bull. It's a representation that when investments or items go up in value, they're saying it's a bull market because of that. That's where that brass calf came from, and the term bull market came from. It came from the golden calf. I don't know if you knew that. So that was just a little FYI there. All right, so now that we know that, so the bull market here took exactly 30.6 right here, and now we can figure out how long this took. But in order to figure out how long this took compared to this, we can only do the 4 leg ups. We can't do the 5 and the 6, and the reason why is because this bull market here, which was 2015 to 2016, only lasted 4 leg ups. It was exactly 7.5 months. And we could just fall back here, just take a look at it. We come down here, which is started in December, mid-December, and it ended late. Well, let me see, about early August, late July, early August. It ended. So we could do the math, and all this is a guesstimate, but very, very close to the actual proper time markers. So we divide this by 2.5 to see, and the reason why we're doing 2.5 again is because this was the 2.5 from here to here when you do the calculations. So we're going to see if the 2.5 cycle is legit. And if it is legit, based off these 4 leg ups and these 4 leg ups, and you can see here, let me go back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you see that? So we're going to see if it's pretty legit. So we'll see. So we have to subtract the 30.6 by 11.6, and the reason why is because it took 11.5 months for these for the 5th leg up and the 6th leg up to occur. So since this didn't do exactly 5 and 6 leg up, it only stopped at 4, we have to subtract this down to 4 to get the proper assessment. So let's see here. So the 11.6 or 11.5 divided subtract from 30, which was time period from here to here, right? Will give us 19 months. So this took exactly 19 months, and you could do the calculations yourself to fulfill. And if you divide it by 2.5, which is the cycle that we got from the two bull markets, to see if it will add up to the 2015-2016 cycle, we get this 2.5 equals, we get exactly 7.6. So it's very fascinating how that all adds up. It adds up to the very exact time period of when silver failed. So now that we have 3 confirmations that 2.5 momentum of each and every bull market occurs in silver, we could safely say that this is pretty legit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to determine, since this bull market just started, we're going to determine if this one is also moving 2.5 faster than this. And if it is, then that means silver is moving extremely fast. So let's go ahead and diagnose that. So in order to get it, we need to get 7.6, which was a 2015 to 2016 bull market, which is right here. See? You can see the year there. And we can come back here. So we have one started on May 27th, this new bull market. So we have one leg up here because it broke this resistance line here, which was the lowest, that made the lowest dip, which formed a new leg up right there. So upside down check. Then this was broken here by here. So we have our second leg up. And then this was broken right here by this large thing, which is the third leg up. So you have 1, 2, 3, right? So to determine if we're on the right pathway, we can't use these 4 leg ups. We have to use just these 3, because right now we only did 3 leg ups, because right now we're just not at that point of the 4th leg up yet to see if we're moving at 2.5 the speed. Now from here to right around here to here is exactly 5 months, and you can do the math yourself, but I did it off screen to save us some time, because I don't want to make these videos too long, of course. So we come back and we take the math to see if we're all adding up, and we get 5 months divided by 2.5, sorry, equals exactly 2 months. So theoretically we're supposed to finish, and if we did this back in May, we could have told ourselves this was supposed to do 3 leg ups within the late July. Does that make sense? Because it was late May when it took off. So if you take late May, late June, and then late July, which what happens? We finished the leg down right here, or not the leg down. We finished the downturn of this leg up on late July, and we could even go get a little closer just to confirm it. It was August 1st, right here, that we finished the downturn. And I believe we even started going up on August. Yes, we started going up on August 1st. So this is fantastic news, which means that the third leg up matches up with 2.5 speed of the 3 leg ups from 2015 2016. Now, to determine where this price range is going to go in the near future, this is what we could do. We can look at this here. This bull market here has 6 leg ups with this bull market here, which means that this 6 leg up was much larger than this bull market. It was actually almost 3 times larger. It was like 2.5-ish times larger, which means if this takes off and does exactly 6 to even 7 leg ups, this bull market would be much larger than this, by at least double and possibly a little bit more. Now, another fascinating note is that what I did here, and let me bring this up right here, hold on. Now, what I did here, and I'll show you in a later video, but I took a trend line, right, and I mapped it right around here, going up, touching this tip here, going up to touching this tip up here, and then I continued on with the trend line. to a point where I even measured the price range of where it landed and which time period it landed going downward. And it would land exactly during the time period of late September to late October. And the price range reached 100. So you have a trend line forming from here all the way down to here, this tip to this tip, and it reaches 100 by September to October time period. The 2.5, if we continue this 2.5 momentum, the fourth leg up, and let me go ahead and bring it closer. The fourth leg up, which was May 30th, and it completed sometime in August, which was roughly about two months, I would say. Basically, if you take 2.5, that's a little bit less than a month, which means we should break this next run up within late August. Now, in order for this to happen, there would have to be a news event that takes place that will bring that price range to that range. And the reason why I say that is because during the Brit exit, when the Britain came out and announced that they were going to be exiting the European Union, silver and gold, I think it was in this range right here, late June-ish, absolutely exploded. And it broke through the third leg up, forming a fourth leg up. So in order for this to happen, a big event would have to take place to cause this explosion to shoot up high, upward, to re-challenge the 19 to 21 range. See that? 19 to 21 range. Okay? Now, what's interesting enough is that August I believe, is going to be the month of catastrophes. So basically what's going on is that the momentum when we started the bull market, the 2.5 momentum, is adding up to the point of August of the explosion. Does that make sense? So silver and gold, because gold is doing the exact same thing, is showing an indicator that they're about to explode in the month of August, if you do the math of the 2.5. So it's not a coincidence how all this is adding up. So you also have the Mona Lisa, which have some little meshes of pointing to the month of August. You have the perfect formation of AV month going to the Gregorian calendar. You have other examples of some little meshes pointing to the month of August, and you have astronomical event like the perfect cross forming, in which stands for protection, in the month of August. So it's not a coincidence how this all adds up. Now back to what I was saying with the price range of when this possibly could happen. Now, if we take these 5 leg ups, right, to determine if this is going to absolutely explode, tremendously after the fourth leg up, we already know the fourth leg up, we're going to get to the price range of 19 to 20 to 21, because if we do the math of 2.5 divided by the time period of this fourth leg up, which will give us the momentum and the price range of this leg up coming here, and how long it's going to take. Does that make sense? If you take 2.5, which that's the cycle, which makes sense from all the previous bull markets that gave us confirmation, and we divide it by the time period of the July 4th leg up, we would get the momentum and the time period of how long this will take, and it would be basically late August for us to get to $19 to $21. Now, to get the rest, what we have to do is we take the fifth leg up from here and here, divided by 2.5, which would give us the fifth and sixth leg up of the potential of this before the bankers basically canceled it. So if the bankers never canceled it, it would give us the time period of how long this would have completed its fifth and sixth leg up, if that makes sense. And what we're going to do is this. So you take 11.5 divided by 2.5, because that was the 2 leg ups back in 2008, equals 4.6. So it would take 4.6 months left for this to complete its fifth and sixth leg up. Now, to determine how fast this is going to move, we just take this, which is an invisible fifth and sixth leg up, of course, and divide it by 2.5 equals, we get exactly 1 month, and I guess I would say about 3 weeks and a half, almost 2 months, which means from late August, which most likely August 25th will be the time period when we reach $19 to $21, going to mid to about mid October to late October, most likely mid October, we should hit the range of $100. The reason why I said that is because this six leg up was more than double this. So if this forms six leg ups as well, we will reach to mid-October using all the math that I just stated, and we will reach the price range of 100 by mid-October at least, and at the very latest, late October. And it's funny is because in my next video I'll show you, I formed a trend line from here to this point, and it reaches 100 by sometime in October. So it's not a coincidence how that all adds up. The numbers don't lie, basically. Another interesting note, and this will be the last one. I was going to touch up on One Republic and Rodeo, and there's some subliminal messages of that. But I'll talk about that in a later video. But another thing is this, and let's go ahead and finish this up. During the Hunt Brothers here, the hyperinflation price was between $700 to $1,000, and it's tough to get the exact amount, but at least right around that range, give or take. If we break 100, which is the trend line forming from down here, this tip to this tip, if we break 100, the 100 trend line, right, we will shoot up back to the hyperinflation price of the Hunt Brothers. And interesting enough is that, and we may actually do that by the time period of, I will say, between December and the very latest early February, the very latest of 2020. Again, if the banks do not interfere with the silver price once again. Now, what's interesting enough is that if you look at the hyperinflation price of this, we can go to the US debt clock to confirm that price range, and this would give us more confirmation that silver could possibly do this in the very near future. So this is the US debt clock. It basically shows our US debt, how much we owe, and so forth, like with Social Security, defense, Medicaid, Medicare, and so forth. But that's not what I'm here to show you today. I want to show you the basically, and you can see them here. See it? I want to show you the price compared to the dollar ratio to the silver ratio. Now, mind you, this is one country, right? One country currency, which is out of 162 countries, I believe, that does the ratio between its currency to the world supply of silver. Now keep that in mind, world supply of silver. So we come down here, and let me see if I can find it. Here it is. So the dollar to silver ratio, which is now, and you can see it now, right there, you see it, is $724 per ounce. That's where it's supposed to be at right now, with with inflation adjustments, right? Or well, to dollar to silver ratio. Sorry, dollar to silver ratio. Now this is the silver ratio or the silver supply worldwide compared to how much dollars is out there for one country. So if you add the multitude of other countries, which is 161 countries left, this price here is just way too low, if that makes sense. So we're talking about thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars that silver is supposed to be worth, well over $10,000 to even $20,000 theoretically, if you add up all the currencies. But it's just interesting how the U.S. debt clock shows $724, and if you look at the inflation adjustment of silver back during Hunt Brothers, it equals very close to that price range. So basically, long story short, the numbers do not lie, and when you add the numbers up, it will not lie to you. A man will lie to you, a banker will lie to you, but numbers won't. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. This was a very interesting cycle that I have shown, and hopefully it means something in the future. Hopefully it holds water and holds its weight and actually does what it does, because that'll be very fantastic. So late October, let's see if that happens. Have a good day. God bless.